My friends think you're a joke, and honestly, they're not wrong. She said before her girls' trip, so I moved out while she was gone. She came home to empty rooms, and a note that said, "Hope they think this is funny too." Hey viewers, before we get into the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want more stories like this. Thanks. If I had $1 for every time my girlfriend Chloe called me safe, I probably could have retired 5 years ago. Instead, I was a 29-year-old senior data analyst paying 80% of the rent on a downtown apartment we couldn't afford. Also, she, 27, could find her passion. For the last 2 years, I'd been investing in us. That meant I was the rock, the stable one, the one who paid off the $8,000 in credit card debt she'd accidentally racked up, just to give her a fresh start. I funded her failed Etsy store, the one that sold custom resin art keychains. I came home every night at 6 p.m., cooked dinner, and listened to her complain about how the world just didn't get her. Lately, though, safe had stopped being a compliment. It had turned into a dirty word. The real shift started when she fell in with her new friend group, led by a woman named Jessica. Jessica was a nightmare of toxic TikTok trends, a walking billboard for high-value men, provider energy, and six-figure alphas. My $110,000 a year analyst job, once the bedrock that allowed Chloe to explore, was now a source of open embarrassment. I got my first real taste of it a week before the end. We were at a pre-Vegas dinner for her upcoming girls' trip, and I was of course paying. Jessica was talking about her new guy, some crypto bro who leased a McLaren Triff. "You should get into crypto, Mark," Jessica said, not even looking at me. "I prefer to invest in things I can actually, quantify," I replied mildly. Jessica let out a small hum of a laugh. "That's cute. It's almost like you enjoy being on the financial sidelines. Cello," she said, finally turning to her, "you need a man who plays the game, not just spectates." I waited for Chloe to defend me, to say anything. She just forced a laugh, her eyes flicking toward me and then quickly away. "Oh, Mark, don't be so literal. Jessica just means you're very practical." Practical was the new safe. The look they shared told me everything I needed to know. I wasn't her partner. I was her court jester. The walking, talking ATM who was just a little too boring to bring around the alphas. Which brings us to Thursday night, where bags were packed for Vegas. An explosion of sequins and new outfits spilled across the bed I'd paid for. She was on her phone, texting furiously and smiling in a way she didn't smile at me anymore. "Chloe, we need to talk," I said, standing in the doorway. She let out an aggressive, put-upon sigh, the kind that says, "You are the single most inconvenient thing in my life right now. God, can you not do this right now?" She locked her phone and tossed it onto the bed. "I'm trying to get into Vegas mode." "You're such a buzzkill." "A buzzkill?" I asked, my voice dangerously quiet. "For wanting my girlfriend to defend me? That dinner last week, the way Jessica talks to me, the way you let her, it's not right." She stood up and the mask of the bubbly, passionate dreamer I'd fallen for dissolved. Her face went cold, hard. She put her hands on her hips. "You want honesty? Fine." My stomach dropped. "My friends think you're a joke, and honestly, they're not wrong." I just stared. I couldn't feel my hands. "A joke?" "Yes, Mark. A joke," she snapped. "You're just safe, you're predictable. You're the nice guy who finishes the spreadsheet. You are not the one who closes the deal. Do you get it? My friends are meeting men who own the company, not just analyze its data." She was breathing hard, her eyes bright with a cruelty I'd never seen before. "And you," I finally managed. "You agree with them." It wasn't a question. "I'm just saying I need to be around winners for a few days," she said, her voice thick with smug dismissal. "I need to breathe." She zipped up her carry-on and pushed past me, grabbing her purse. "I'll see you on Sunday. Don't wait up." She walked to the door, paused, then, as an afterthought, kissed the air somewhere near my cheek. The door clicked shut. I heard the elevator ding down the hall, she was gone. I stood there for a full 10 minutes, the silence of the apartment buzzing around me. The insult echoed in the space she'd left. A joke, and then something switched. It wasn't rage. It wasn't even heartbreak. It was clarity. Crystalline. Perfect. She hadn't just dumped me. She hadn't even had the courage to do that. She insulted me, confirmed she had zero respect for me, and left for a long weekend expecting me to be here like a loyal dog. When she got back, the joke I realized, was that she thought I would be. The click of that door echoed in the apartment for a long time. I didn't move. I just stood in the bedroom listening to the hum of the refrigerator. A joke. The joke, I thought, was that she was right. I was a joke. The punchline to a story she was telling her friends. The chump paying for the stage, the lights, and the microphone while she played the star leaving with the band. But the thing about jokes is that they end. I didn't get angry. I didn't punch a wall. I didn't even feel like crying. I just felt optimized, like a piece of code that had finally been debugged. The logical error, my relationship with Chloe, had been found and isolated. Now I just had to run the delete script. I walked to my desk, sat down, and opened my laptop. I pulled up our lease agreement, the PDF I'd signed 18 months ago. Then I opened my banking app and scrolled through 2 years of Venmo transfers. Rent, dinner, Vegas fund, Etsy supplies, her half again. I looked at the utility bills, all in my name. The furniture receipts, all on my credit card. I wasn't her partner. I was her primary investor. And she had just declared emotional and financial bankruptcy. It was time to liquidate my assets. I picked up my phone. My thumb hovered over her contact, the one with the laughing photo from a vacation I paid for. I didn't call her. I called my friend Sam. And do you still have the keys to your brother's moving truck? He was quiet for a second. Yeah, man. Why? You finally upgrading that TV. I'm upgrading my whole life, I said. Chloe just left for Vegas. She told me I'm a joke. I'm moving out while she's gone. There was a long pause, then a slow, appreciative whistle. Okay, that's epic. I'll be there in an hour. We're gonna meet boxes and beer. We started Friday morning. Sam, bless him, had recruited 2 of his beefiest gym buddies. While Chloe was presumably nursing her first Vegas mimosa, we were a silent, efficient machine. We were meticulous. I took only what was mine. My clothes, my books, my entire PC setup, my toothbrush. The bed, I paid for it. It was disassembled and in the truck in 10 minutes. The sofa, mine. Gone. The 65-inch TV, my Christmas bonus last year, gone. With the pots, the pans, the good knives, the air fryer, the espresso machine, all mine. I even unscrewed the smart bulbs and replaced them with the apartment's original dim yellow ones. By 4 p.m., the apartment was hollowed out. It echoed. All that was left was her stuff, her mountains of clothes, her makeup collection, her half-finished passion project canvases, and, ironically, the ridiculous, oversized gold leaf floor mirror she and Jessica just had to have, which she bought with my credit card. I left it. It seemed fitting that she'd have something to look at herself in. At 4:30 p.m., I made my last call. The landlord, hi, I said. I'm calling to give notice for apartment 12B. I've moved out. What, Mark? The lease isn't up for 6 months. I understand, I said calmly. I'm forfeiting the entire security deposit. I'm also Venmoing you my half of the lease break penalty right now. The other tenant, Chloe, will be responsible for her half and for the full rent moving forward as of today. I sent the payment while he was still sputtering. I followed up with a formal signed email. I didn't care about the money. It was a cheap price for freedom. My last act was to walk to the kitchen counter. I pulled a single sticky note from the drawer I'd bought and wrote 5 words on it. Hope they think this is funny too. I stuck it squarely on the fridge. Then I walked out and locked the door for the last time. Before Chloe's plane even landed in Las Vegas, I was in a new, smaller, much nicer apartment on a 3-month lease across town. I sat on my sofa in my new living room and opened my phone. I blocked Chloe. I blocked Jessica. I blocked her entire coven of high-value friends. I changed my voicemail greeting to a generic robotic voice. Then I ordered a pizza and slept for 10 solid hours. I didn't hear the explosion. I just felt the shockwave secondhand. Sam, who still had a few mutual, non-toxic friends in that orbit, got the play-by-play. Chloe got back Sunday night, tan, hungover, and probably broke from whatever alpha bottle service table she'd been coping at. She walked into the dark, empty apartment. Her first call, according to Sam, wasn't to me. She reported a robbery. 2 very tired-looking cops showed up. They walked through the echoing rooms, saw her clothes and makeup piled in the bedroom, and then saw the single sticky note on the fridge. Ma'am. One of them said, Looks like you had a bad breakup. This is a civil dispute." And then they left. The second wave hit Monday morning. The landlord informed her that, per her lease agreement, she was now solely responsible for the full $3,400 monthly rent. And he added, "D, we still require the $1,700 lease break penalty from you. Your ex-partner already paid his share. We'll need that by the 1st, or we begin eviction proceedings." The third wave was the Vegas karma. Sam heard the trip had been a catastrophe. The high-value men Jessica had lined up were just a few club promoters who got them free entry, then stuck them with a $2,000 bar tab. Chloe had come home broke, hungover, and expecting to land on her safe bet boyfriend. The ATM, however, was no longer in service. She couldn't reach me, so she started blowing up Sam's phone. He did me the solid of letting them go to voicemail. Then he played them for me over a beer. It was illuminating. Voicemail 1. Sunday, 11:30 p.m. Pure panic. Sam. Where is he? Where is Mark? He's not answering his phone. Someone broke in. They stole everything. The sofa, the bed. Sam, he took the goddamn coffee maker. What am I supposed to do? Voicemail 2. Monday, 2 p.m. Pure rage. You tell Mark. You tell him I'm calling a lawyer. He can't just leave. He abandoned me. He owes me. He's a coward. This is sociopathic. He thinks this is funny. He's a joke. He's a white. She just screamed and hung up. Voicemail 3. Tuesday, 3:15 a.m. Pure desperation. Sniffling, her voice thick with tears. Sam, please. I don't know who else to call. The landlord called. I can't pay the rent. I can't pay it, Sam. Jessica isn't answering my calls. None of them are. I'm just sitting on the floor. I'm scared. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean what I said. I was just stressed about the trip. Please just tell him to call me. I just need him to call me. Sam looked at me. Dude, that's rough. I looked down at my beer. Dude, that's rough. I looked down at my beer. Yeah. So, he said, you going to call her? I picked up my phone, opened Sam's call log, and found the number. I stared at T for a second, for not pot. No, I said, taking a sip. I'm not. The first 3 months were a blur of forward momentum. I leaned into the joke of my boring analyst job. I took on a complex AI modeling project no one else wanted, and I crushed it. So completely that they gave me a 20% raise and a promotion to the data science and AI strategy team. I moved into a new one-bedroom in a nicer building, one with a gym. I started using it. I was reading. I was sleeping. For the first time in 2 years, I wasn't constantly managing someone else's emotions. I was breathing. I heard about Chloe's eviction through Sam. She couldn't find a roommate, couldn't afford the rent, and couldn't pay the lease break penalty. She was forced to move back in with her parents in the suburbs an hour outside the city. And Jessica, the high-value friends, they ghosted her completely. As soon as Chloe's provider, me, was gone, she was no longer a winner. She was just a broke, evicted 27-year-old living in her childhood bedroom. She was in their eyes a joke. Then the secondary attacks began. When she couldn't reach me, she sent in her family. An unknown number called me one afternoon. I almost ignored it. Hello, Mark. Honey, it's Karen, Chloe's mom. I've been so worried. Her voice dripped with fake sweetness and concern. Hello, Karen, I said, flat and professional. I'm not sure why you're calling me. Oh, Mark, please, she said, the fake cry already starting. Chloe, she said, the fake cry already starting. She's not herself. She's just been crying in her old bedroom for weeks. She's a mess. She told me what she said, and she made a terrible mistake. Those girls, Jessica, they were such a toxic influence. You know she doesn't mean those things. I waited. She loves you, Karen pressed. She needs you, Mark. Can't you just talk to her? This is all just so embarrassing for her. There it was. Not devastating, not heartbreaking. Embarrassing. That was all this was to them. An image problem. Karen, I said. My voice cold. What Chloe did was for her. What I did was for me. I have to go now. Please don't call this number again. I hung up and blocked the number. A week later, the final boss tried to log on. I got a message request on LinkedIn. Of all places. It was from Jessica. Look, I know we didn't always see eye to eye, but I think what you did to Chloe was really cruel. She's at rock bottom, she's lost everything. You made your point, okay? But you've destroyed her. As the bigger man, you should really reach out and help her get back on her feet. It's the least you can do after humiliating her." The hypocrisy was so profound it was almost impressive. I had humiliated her. I stared at the message, thought about all the things I could say. Instead, I typed one word: no. Then I hit block. A full year passed. My life was unrecognizable. My new role was challenging and fulfilling. I was in the best shape of my life, and I had met someone. Her name was Anna, a brilliant, wickedly funny architect who thought my data nerd jokes were hilarious. She was kind, she was respectful, and she was my partner in every sense of the word, which is why we were at the City Tech Gala, a massive black tie awards dinner. My AI-driven project had won a small industry award, and my company had a table. I was in a perfectly tailored tux, Anna at my side, in a stunning deep blue dress. We were laughing. Actually laughing as she told me about a client who wanted a modern Tuscan brutalist nightmare of a house, going to grab us more champagne. I made my way to the crowded bar, scanning the room, and that's when I saw her. The contrast was sickening. Chloe was there. She wasn't a guest. She was working some brand ambassador attempt of a job. She wore a cheap-looking, overly red dress that was completely wrong for the event. Her face was gaunt, the Vegas tan long gone, replaced by a mask of caked-on makeup. She was forcing a smile while handing out tiny branded samples of a new energy drink from a tray. Our eyes locked across the room. She looked like she'd seen a ghost. Her plastic smile fell away. She abandoned her tray on a nearby ledge and, to my horror, started pushing through the crowd toward me. She cornered me against the bar. "Mark, oh my God. You look. Wow. This tux." Her eyes raked over me, wide with a desperate kind of hunger. "Chloe," I said with a nod. My voice was polite, detached, like I was addressing a stranger who had just asked for directions. "Mark, please." The words spilled out of her fast and frantic. I'm so sorry. God, I was so stupid. I was an idiot. I was a child. Those friends that whole life. It was all fake. It was all just a joke. You were the only real thing I ever had." I just looked at her. I didn't say I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't say that's awful. I didn't say anything. "I have to get back to my table," I said, turning slightly. "No, wait." She grabbed my arm, her fingers digging into the sleeve of my tux. The old entitlement flashed in her eyes. "Please. I'm back at my mom's. I lost everything. I lost the apartment. Jessica and everyone, they're gone. Don't you see? I've learned my lesson. I'm in therapy. I've changed. We can change. We can be happy again." I didn't pull my arm away. I just looked down at her hand on my sleeve. I looked at it with such complete cold indifference that she awkwardly removed it, as if she'd touched something hot. "So that's it?" she demanded, the desperation turning sour, morphing into that familiar angry whine. You destroyed my life, and you're happy? You just get to walk away? I'm a joke to you now. Is that it?" I paused, and for the first time I almost smiled. I leaned in slightly, my voice calm, factual, and final. "You've got it all wrong, Chloe," I said quietly. "You're not a joke to me." A tiny, pathetic flicker of hope lit her eyes. "You're not anything to me," I said. "You're just the person who used to live in my old apartment." Her face crumpled. It was the look of someone who had just been erased. "Hey," came a warm, bright voice. Anna slid in beside me, radiant, looping her arm through mine. I got us a table on the terrace. "Is everything okay?" My entire demeanor shifted. My body, my face, everything. I turned to Anna and smiled, a real, warm smile. I glanced back at Chloe, who was staring at Anna like she was a creature from another planet. The upgrade stood right in front of her, and the realization hit like a physical blow. I squeezed Anna's hand. "Excuse us," I said to Chloe with the polite, empty indifference of a hotel clerk. "Enjoy the rest of your shift." I placed my hand at the small of Anna's back, and we walked away. I didn't look back once. I didn't need to. As we stepped onto the terrace, the cool night air met us, and I heard the faint sound of the event MC announcing the next award, and I realized with a sudden, profound sense of peace that I couldn't even remember what her joke about me had been. It didn't matter. It wasn't my life anymore. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share your thoughts in the comments.